Michigan, and they were saying he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. That was an expectation were a little more than they really deserved to be. But Roy Marble has shown that he's a very good player. He runs the court. He's a good athlete, smart. And what they've gotten to do is get the seniors, Roy Marble, B.J. Armstrong, in addition to Ed Horton, to play well to be successful this afternoon.
Let's mention who's not here for Iowa. Freshman Ray Thompson, who is eligible by NCAA and Big Ten standards, but the University of Iowa said, he's not progressing academically the way we'd like.
And I personally think that's good that the university has taken that stand, because these kids have to understand your first and foremost responsibility to yourself is to get an education. He had been told, Ray Thompson had been told to do some things. He did not do it. They therefore said, you cannot make the tournament.
Starting lineups for this afternoon's game. Brian Howard, Chucky Brown, Avi Lester up front for the Wolfpack, Chris Corchiani and Rodney Monroe in the backcourt. That backcourt of B.J. Armstrong and Roy Marble for the Hawkeyes. Horton, Bullard, and Jepson up front for Iowa. Dr. Tom Davis, 351 and 174 for his career, and a great record in first and second round NCAA tournament games, now in his third season at the University of Iowa. And we are set to go. Avi Lester, number 32 in red for North Carolina State, 51 in white, Les Jepson for Iowa.
Tempo is the key here for North Carolina State. They must be able to withstand the pressure that Iowa puts on you with its press.
50 is Matt Bullard. 51 is Jepson. Horton down low, rejected. Carolina State with the basketball. Corchiani ahead for Howard. Corchiani is the trigger man for North Carolina State. He'll make things go.
And we talk about tempo, and as I said, right here, North Carolina State, they want to be patient, get the ball moved around, and take good shots.
Howard. Back rim, Bullard down with it, and here comes B.J. Armstrong. Nice bounce pass for Marble. Make it Horton.
And this is the kind of pace that Iowa wants. That's why North Carolina State must do a good job in their shot selection and just being patient, because long shots give long rebounds, and therefore Iowa can get out and run like they like to do.
First basket of the game, three-pointer from Chucky Brown. State with the one-point lead, Lester with the steal. May have gotten away with a little push. Corchiani for Rodney Monroe.
Good sign for the Wolfpack. They get off to a good start shooting the basketball. They become an increasingly tough team to beat because their confidence seems to rise, and they play very well after starting off shooting the ball well as they have here.
North Carolina State got here with a 81-66 win over South Carolina Friday. Iowa defeated Rutgers 87-73. Bullard underneath, Jepson follows. Les Jepson, 7-foot junior from Bowbells, North Dakota. Monroe, inside, Howard. Big rebound, Chucky Brown. Foul is on Les Jepson. Southeast Regional, second round. South Alabama leading. Evansville, a 2-point leader over Seton Hall in the first half. That action taking place in Tucson. And number 24, James Moses, a 6'6" freshman from Gardena, California, into the lineup for Iowa.
Moses is a great shooter for Iowa. He comes in, will shoot the three-point shot, open up some things inside for the Hawkeyes. That's one of the things that Tom Davis likes to do also, to be able to get the play into either Bullard or Horton down on the baseline, have good jump shooters.
Team captain Chucky Brown over the last 8 games has been shooting a sizzling 65.7% from the floor. Hits 1 of 2 from the line, and Carolina State 7-4 leader early on. Armstrong. Jepson follows. No, tapping is good. And Iowa goes to the full court pressure. And And 2-on-1 for Carolina State. Corchiani deflected by Marble. And the foul is on Avi Lester.
There was a great defensive play that time. The Iowa Hawkeyes pressure you to push the ball up court. You'll see coming right here is Roy Marble going up to block that shot. Ed Horton made Chucky Brown take off early. Roy Marble gets there, makes the block. Iowa's going on the fast break. Foul call against North Carolina State.
Horton, travel. Ed Horton up top with the basketball. Substitutions now. Number 4, Brian Garner into the lineup for Iowa. Number 4, he is a 6'1" freshman out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Good ball handling guard, somebody that can keep the pressure going on for Iowa. Iowa will make a lot of substitutions because they like the press. They know the kids need a break in order to maintain the kind of pressure that Iowa wants.
And James Moses guilty of that foul. Second team foul against Iowa.
Matchup for us to keep an eye on is with B.J. Armstrong and this man with the ball, Rodney Monroe, a great scorer.
Down the lane, basket is good by Howard. Good patience, good shot for the Wolfpack. Bullard can stick it from there. It doesn't fall. Lester up high, whistle blows, and the foul is on Horton. In the Midwest, round 2, Missouri by 3 over the Longhorns in the first half. Here, North Carolina State leading Iowa by 3 with 16:25 to play. 23, Roy Marble back into the Iowa backcourt. Brown. Iowa going to the 3-guard offense. Marble rejected by Howard.
Great defensive play by Brian Howard. Roy Marble really didn't have control of the ball. Howard recognized that, turned inside, was able to get his hand on it for a good block.
Monroe inside for Brown. Lester follows.
Always a good sign if Avi Lester's on the board, but I think that right here North Carolina State has to feel good because they're getting not only second shot opportunities, but they've been able to take the ball to the basket and really just shooting the jump shots very well.
Garner travel.
North Carolina State able to get the ball inside to Chucky Brown. Matt Bullard doesn't get there in time. Chucky Brown shoots it, but you see coming right at your screen, number 32, Avi Lester is able to get the ball back in and in the basket. A good sign for the Wolfpack when Avi Lester scores. They don't run offense for him, so any way he can get points is always good for the Wolfpack.
Iowa has turned the ball over 3 times so far. None for North Carolina State. Monroe for 3. In and out. Follow is good. Four points for Brian Howard. Horton spinning inside. It won't go, but called for the travel. And timeout on the floor. Jim Valvano fired up, and why not? His Wolfpack ahead by 9. Valvano will like very much. His team has not had a turnover, but look at what they've done off of the Iowa turnover. 7 points in all, and they lead by 9.
Well, Greg, you would normally expect that to be the other way because of the pressure that Iowa puts on you. They like to press, hold full court to create turnovers. Thus far, I think, to North Carolina State's benefit, they haven't turned the ball over and have been able to score when Iowa has turned it over.
14.5 to play, first half. Shot clock at 20. With the shot clock at 10, Corchiani. They swing it around. Monroe off the baseline. 5 for Rodney Monroe. Into the lineup for Iowa is number 34, Wade Lookingbill.
One of the things that I'm sure Jimmy Valvano had to be concerned about is because his team is also a young one, that whether or not he got off to a good start for North Carolina State. They've come out and they've right away, they shot the ball at 7 for 12, so they've gotten off to the kind of start I'm sure Jimmy would like his team to have.
Brown spins away from the pressure for the two-handed jam. Chucky Brown has 8, and it's a 19-6 North Carolina State lead. Iowa right now around the perimeter.
And they're around the perimeter, Greg, primarily because I think that North Carolina State is doing a good job of getting out and making Iowa keep the ball out on the perimeter.
Moses' save doesn't work. 4-on-1, North Carolina State. Monroe.
Right here, Tom Davis has to think about a timeout, and he is calling one because his team cannot control this tempo.
14 straight for the Wolfpack. And 1, when they do better than 50%.
Here we go, Wolfpack. Here we go.
Iowa, meanwhile, still looking for the key to start the engine. Bullard rejected inside. And as significant as the Wolfpack shooting on offense has been their defense down low.
I'm glad you said that because you're reading my mind. I was going to say the most impressive thing I have seen from North Carolina State has been their defense and not allowing Iowa to get the ball where they're most effective inside.
Well, you were writing it on the back of my hand, is what you were doing. Chucky Brown. 10 points for Chucky Brown. 23-6. Moses open, that's off the mark. Tap up, no good. Here comes Corchiani. 3-on-2. Howard. No offensive foul on Corchiani.
B.J. Armstrong recognizing that Corchiani was already had his mind made up what he was going to do. Armstrong got in his way, held his position, and got the offensive foul call.
Chris Corchiani playing with a stress fracture in the right foot. It is painful. He's still able to play, but he can't quite do all the things he used to be able to do.
For what it is, it's on a non-weight-bearing bone, and because of that, that's the reason he's able to play. Yes, he's in pain, and so he doesn't do the things he normally does well.
Outside shot, no good. Iowa has now missed its last 8 field goal attempts.
Now, this is the kind of game where Jim Valvano is at his best. He's able to control the tempo. Every time Chris Corchiani goes by, he can hear Jimmy V telling him, all right, bring it out, push it up, and that's how Corchiani is controlling the tempo.
Corchiani into the lane. 25-6. Marble. That ends a run of 18 consecutive points by the Wolfpack. And let us keep in mind, this is the kind of Iowa team that can erase a big lead in a hurry.
They score in spurts. That's how they won the game the other night against Rutgers. They get out, they get 8, 10 points, and they may give you 4, but they work hard and score in spurts. B.J. Armstrong hit 6 3-pointers in the first half in that win over Rutgers on Friday. Lester. Big rebound by Brown, out of bounds, belongs to Iowa.
This is game 2 of today's action here in the Providence Civic Center. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. We have seen Georgetown advance with a victory over Notre Dame, and North Carolina State and Iowa doing battle to see who else moves on to the Meadowlands next weekend. Marble for 3. Make it for 2. That's a 2-pointer.
But what you see here, Greg, is one of the seniors, Roy Marble, deciding to take up the offensive slack because Iowa's had trouble getting it in the basket.
Howard hits a 2 back at the other end. And here comes Marble. Had to change his shot. Another good defensive play. 54. Brian D'Amico in the North Carolina State lineup, along with number 11, Kelsey Weems. The Wolfpack leading at 27-10 with 9.5 to play in the first half.
Kelsey Weems in the game because he played a great game the other day, but his ability to penetrate and get other people open.
Rodney Monroe has 9. Marble. Roy Marble hits a 3. He's hit his last 3 shots from the floor. He has 9 points.
This is a young man with the ball. Kelsey Weems is a guy I think has to play well because if Chris Corchiani gets a break when Kelsey comes in, and if he doesn't play well and they do what he just did there, throw the ball out of bounds, he'll have a problem. Now, in terms of the tempo, both teams like to run. I happen to think that Iowa is better at it, and primarily better at it is because they have 3 seniors who make good decisions when they push the ball up on the break.
Number 3, Mickey Hinnant, junior college transfer, 6'6" junior from Cary, North Carolina, into the lineup. Chris Corchiani back into the lineup for North Carolina State.
They typically brought Hinnant in when they wanted to get the tempo going even faster, if you can believe that.
Marble with Weems on him. Hinnant guarding Garner out front. Shot clock at 20. Armstrong to the baseline. 29-15, North Carolina State. Wolfpack 12 of 18, Iowa 7 for 20, but Iowa has been showing signs of waking up.
Well, Iowa is starting to get the kind of shots that they want. When they push the ball up, the defense doesn't have a chance to settle in and keep you from penetrating or getting where you want to get for your shots.
Weems, Hinnant, Corchiani, Chucky Brown, and D'Amico on the court for North Carolina State. Corchiani into the lane, out to Hinnant. No, but the foul is on Armstrong.
You see BJ slap his hands there because he knows that's not a good foul. You have the clock was down to 3 seconds. The shooting clock was. BJ Armstrong jumped out there and fouled Mickey Hinnant. You just put your arms up and let Mickey shoot that shot.
24, James Moses back in for Iowa. And Mickey Hinnant to the free throw line where he shoots 74%. And he does it with a line drive, too.
Yeah, he does. He shoots the ball pretty well for him.
Oh, you got it?
31-15. North Carolina State, 7:35 to play first half. Nice pass to Horton. And thus far, the Wolfpack has not had much trouble with the pressure. Weems open. Kelsey Weems with the 2-pointer.
It's good to be able to get play off your bench. Kelsey Weems is playing BJ Armstrong man-to-man, and he also made that jump shot.
Iowa with a mismatch down low. Moses in the lane. Scoop doesn't go. Horton follows. 6 points for Ed Horton, the Big Ten's leading rebounder.
definitely for Iowa, but that play was made because Ed Horton was able to get the rebound, and when you get somebody to get the rebound and push it up 2 or 3 steps, you get past the defense. That time, B.J. Armstrong was the recipient of that play from Ed Horton.
Moses with a foul down in the corner. In the southeast, South Alabama with a 3-point lead on Michigan. Seton Hall 8 points better than Evansville at halftime. In the Midwest, Missouri leading Texas. Here, North Carolina State 33-21 with 6:15 to play.
Well, I'll tell you, that Missouri ball club has a lot of good players. Brian Irvin, that Smith, they can come at you a lot of different ways. And they've had some adversity with Coach Stewart going down, but they've been able to play through it very well.
Long-range jumper is good by Chucky Brown. 12 for Brown, who is having an outstanding day so far. Horton down low. And the foul. If you get the ball to Ed Horton where he can do something with it, you're in big trouble.
You know, Iowa's been passing it around the perimeter. Right here, it gets down the perimeter again. But Wade Lookingbill looking inside for Ed Horton. You see him get slapped twice, but he's such a big man, 6'7", 240, and he is mean when he plays basketball. Very aggressive player, nice young man, but an aggressive basketball player.
Rather not meet him at the backboard. Completes the 3-point play, 35-24. Wolfpack lead is 11. On the front line, the Wolfpack with things their own way so far. Corchiani open, overshot. And that one will go against the Wolfpack. And Avi Lester comes up a little angry. And who did he bump heads with?
Ed Horton, long man.
That's 2 on Avi Lester.
See, but a little bit of that is the senior psychology. You see right there, they're talking to each other. Ed Horton knows how to play this game. And that's what he does to take you out of the game. I say he's mean, but he's a cagey mean.
Let's go, go.
To play, first half. Armstrong for 3. Armstrong has 7. And Monroe with the save in the corner.
Iowa's got to do a better job of blocking out. They got what they wanted, and they got a long shot taken. But when teams take a long shot, the defensive team, and this time Iowa's got to do a better job blocking out and going and getting the loose ball.
Lester in the lane. 10-point Wolfpack lead. Marble open. Lester up high to get a hand on it, and it belongs to Iowa. Timeout on the floor with 4:07 to play in the first half. Jim Valvano and company up 10. 4:07 to play here in the first half. One of the things that's a bit of a surprise, North Carolina State out-rebounding Iowa 13-8. That's something that really didn't happen much to Iowa during the course of the regular season.
Well, Iowa led the country in terms of rebound margin. They had a 9.6 advantage in terms of rebounding. I think today what has really happened is that Iowa is not taking the kind of shots they normally take. They're normally a little closer to the basket, which allows them to get more rebounds.
Armstrong shot doesn't go. Horton rejected and fouled by Chucky Brown. Brown thought it was clean.
Well, you'll see right here the ball come off. Ed Horton does a good job getting it. And you watch Chucky Brown. He goes to get that. He does swipe across the arm. If he didn't come down with his arm, that's a good call. But right here, you'll see it right there. There's no question about the foul.
So Ed Horton goes to the line where he shoots 57%. 9 points, 4 rebounds on the day, make it 10.
But here's what's happened with Iowa. The seniors have taken over. All of a sudden, Roy Marble makes 2 shots, one of them a three-pointer. B.J. Armstrong gets a fast break basket off a rebound from Horton. And now Horton is starting to do a little more rebounding on the other end. The seniors have just decided, guys, we got to figure out a way to get it done.
Pressure on the inbounds, and North Carolina State turns it over. Carolina State leads 37-31. Welcome to those of you just joining us here in the Providence Civic Center. 3:20 to play in the first half. North Carolina State, after jumping off to a big lead, Iowa now has come back on a 25-12 run. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner, and the whistle down low. The foul is on Wolfpack center Avi Lester. North Carolina State scored 18 consecutive points to open up that big lead while Iowa was cold. And you see the field goal percentages. It was worse than that for Iowa, but they've been on a tear lately.
Well, they have been on a tear, Greg. And tell you what they've done. They've gotten the tempo up the way they like it. They'll press you all over the court, but the seniors have really started to exert themselves. Armstrong starts scoring. Horton got rebounds. Roy Marble shot jump shots. And the tempo definitely favors the Hawkeyes at this point.
Starting center Avi Lester now takes a seat on the bench with his 3rd foul, and 6'8" junior David Lee, number 25, into the lineup for North Carolina State. 3 minutes to play, first half. Horton down low, dishes off for Lookinville. And Iowa closes to within 4.
That can really help the Wolfpack right now is Chris Corchiani. He is the point guard. He's basically the head of the body there, and he has to get his teammates to just be patient and get good shots.
Rodney Monroe casts off, no, and here come the Hawkeyes. Corchiani forces the travel. Tom Davis wants a blocking foul. They didn't see it that way. Earlier this afternoon, Georgetown defeated Notre Dame. The winner here will do the same. And will play the Hoyas, the number 1 seed in the East.
Well, I'm sure they'll be ready, but as you know, we talked to John Thompson after the game, and the one thing he said, our players are going to go back and regroup and get ready. He just thinks they played very well in this tournament.
Corchiani. Here comes Armstrong ahead of the pack. Armstrong the steal, back underneath for Marble. To play in the first half, and Iowa has come from way back to tie at 37. What's the difference, Quinn?
Well, as I was saying, they've just been able to exert more pressure. The seniors have taken some position is simply this. Look, fellas, this is the only time we're going to get to do this. If we lose now, we go home. So Iowa's come out. They've gotten a great deal of turnovers from the North Carolina State Wolfpack with the press. And on the other hand, North Carolina State, even when they have beat the press, has come back on the other end, not taking their time, and have definitely not gotten the shots that they would like to get, and they're missing the ones that they're getting.
At one point in this game, North Carolina State led Iowa 25-6, and Iowa has gone on a 31-12 run since then. We are in the Providence Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner, 2nd round action in the East region. And And we have seen two different ball games here in the first half. North Carolina State.
Part of the first half, nobody else has stepped up. It should be one of the two seniors, Roy Marble or B.J. Armstrong.
Tap no good. Jepson follows. 7-foot junior. And here comes Chucky Brown. Offensive foul. And Chucky Brown gets up angry.
Pass down to Chucky Brown. You see coming in the screen right here. Ed Horton gets position. Chucky Brown takes it, makes the contact. And you see what happened is right there. Wade Lookingbill had pushed Chucky Brown. That's what Chucky was more upset about than anything else. He was probably very much disappointed he didn't get the basket, too.
Second personal foul on Brown. 4-point lead for the Wolfpack. Armstrong down low for Horton. Ed Horton is making a living on the baseline.
He's making a living, but he got good help from his teammate B.J. Armstrong there that time. Did a ball fake, was able to get the ball down on the baseline where Ed Horton has just been playing well since the middle part of the first half.
Something that began to work, and a pushing foul, offensive foul is on Brian Howard. And there's a timeout on the floor. 14:51 to play, second half. All moving on to East Regionals next weekend. 51-49, North Carolina State with the 2-point lead. Iowa in white with the basketball. Down low, Bullard shot rejected. Horton there for the follow. Horton has 21, and we're tied at 51. Corchiani, double team, throws it away. Horton with the lead for Armstrong. The way Armstrong was shooting threes against Rutgers Friday night, he would have put that one up.
There's no question. That one was launched Friday night. He hadn't been able to get off to a good start here from a shooting perspective, and that's due to the good defense that North Carolina State has played, be it a boxing one or just making sure they know where B.J. Armstrong is.
Bullard cross court for Garner, down low, Horton. Armstrong for three. Once you pick the right line, you can do it.
Yeah, you sure did.
14 for Armstrong. Iowa with a 3-point lead. Only their third lead of the afternoon. Both teams shooting very well. Corchiani trying to make things happen. This is off outside, and Lookingbill guilty of the foul for Iowa. Armstrong will take a rest. Kelsey Weems into the lineup for North Carolina State. Wolfpack goes now with 3 guards. Rodney Monroe, Kelsey Weems, Chris Corchiani. Up front, Chucky Brown and Brian Howard. Monroe casts off for 3 and is fouled by Garner.
Well, the reason,
can't believe it.
Well, he should believe it because he definitely fouled him. But the reason that Jim Valvano decided to go with 3 guards is he has to find a way to combat the defensive pressure that Iowa's been putting on the guards. So he got an additional ball handler in the game to do just that in Kelsey Weems.
B.J. Armstrong on the Iowa bench just long enough to say hello to all of his mates, and he's back into the game. .13:05 to play, second half. Iowa's lead is 3. Monroe. Big follow by Howard.
That time, poor block out by the Hawkeyes allowed Brian Howard to get in on the missed shot of Rodney Monroe with a dunk.
Bullard for 3. His shot is off. Horton follow up. .56-53 Iowa. bull down low.
He's played a big basketball game here.
Big shot again by Howard. Garner in a hurry. Inside, Horton. That one doesn't go, and this one will go against Horton. Someone was just in Big Ed's way, and he kind of removed him forcefully from the scene.
Well, he did, and I think that he's getting a little bit tired. That shot hit the front of the rim, and it didn't get where it needed to go, and him trying to get back, he just grabbed the player on the arm. But that's usually because he's getting tired. But he's playing so well, I don't think Tom Davis wants to take him out.
Third personal on Horton, and now he'll take a seat on the bench. 6'8", 230-pound senior from Lanphier High School in Springfield, Illinois. Terrific numbers on the season. 17.9 points, 10.6 rebounds. And here comes Kelsey Weems on afterburners. Avi Lester back in the lineup for NC State. Force off the baseline and drew the foul.
Now, with this lineup that North Carolina State has, and now one of the things they're missing, obviously, is Chucky Brown, but it's Brown's ability to play down inside, get loose balls to get them back in the basket. So it'll be incumbent upon the guy going to the foul shot, and Rodney Monroe, to pick up some of the scoring slack. I think Rodney Monroe has got some big league talent. I watched him play the other day, and you watch him, he gets to the basket quickly. He scores both inside and outside, and he plays hard.
14-point afternoon so far. Nailed 4 3-pointers in the 81-66 win over South Carolina. That was a big game for North Carolina State because they were coming off of a blowout at the hands of the University of Maryland, which eliminated them from the ACC tournament.
It was a big game, and the reason being, other than the fact that they just won it, they needed something to tell them that they were a good team and didn't have to necessarily have the cause to be their only motivation.
Corchiani with a great defensive steal from behind. Lester. And that'll be a goaltend on Jepson. Les Jepson doesn't think he's guilty. Let's take another
See
look.
the pass up. If he pins it on the board before it goes out of his hand, that's considered a good block, and I think that was a good block.
58-56, Wolfpack by 2. Armstrong hounded by Weems across this half-court line. Armstrong nowhere to go in the corner and back out for Garner. Weems with the foul.
You know, you hate to see that happen. Right there, Kelsey Weems had good defensive position. You had B.J. Armstrong floating out of bounds to take a jump shot, and for whatever reason, Weems makes the foul. You don't like to see that as a coach, and I'm sure if Kelsey had to do over again, he would say, all right, just let him take the shot and get your hand up.
You talked about the fatigue factor at the end of the first half. It'll be interesting to see, because the pace certainly hasn't lessened any here in the second half, to see which team might get hit with it here in the second half.
But I agree with you, but what I noticed is that Jimmy made some substitutions early. He got into a little bit of the rotation of Tom Davis, which is a good thing to do, because that's why Tom Davis rotates a lot of people in and out. Jimmy has to take a chance that some of the people off the bench, like Kelsey Weems, David Lee, can come in and help him keep the momentum going. You see, at this point, he's been able to leave Chucky Brown on the bench for a considerable period of time, and North Carolina State's up too.
Armstrong gets them both. We're tied at 58.
We're tied at 58.
Corchiani now willing to slow it down. Shot clock down to 20. Corchiani drives, tries to dish off, and Monroe chases it down. Still 15 on the shot clock. Good hands from Marble. Garner. And a foul from Corchiani. Second personal foul on Corchiani. South Alabama and Michigan tied at 78 in the Southeast. Seton Hall's lead over Evansville is 1 in the second half now, 74-73. And in the Midwest, Missouri leading Texas 77-69. Earlier this afternoon here in Providence, Georgetown moves on to East Regional play at the Meadowlands, 81-74. Great performance from Charles Smith. Marble will go to the line. That's number 4 on Avi Lester.
That puts Jimmy Valvano in a real bind here because he doesn't have anybody that can really take up the slack, the inside, the way that Avi Lester can. Avi was asked to take up what was left when Charles Shackelford, the North Carolina State star, went to the pros. And Avi's really done a good job with what he can do. He's blocked up the middle, he's scored occasionally for him, but he's rebounded. But now he has 4 fouls.
Roy Marble, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Make it 13 as Iowa leads by 2. Monroe for 3, fouled out front by Looking Bill.
I'm sure Wade would rethink that one, Greg. I don't know what he was thinking about when he got out there with Rodney Monroe. Yes, with the possible exception, Wade Looking Bill should have had Rodney Monroe and kept him from getting the ball. And once he realized that Monroe had gotten the ball, he knew what Rodney was going to do with it. He got there too late and fouled him. But if you don't foul a person that's shooting a three-pointer, especially Rodney Monroe, he doesn't miss a lot of free throws.
You can understand the wish to disrupt Monroe because we saw Friday against South Carolina when this young man gets into a groove. He begins to nail them from everywhere on the court.
Yeah, I do understand that, but the way you stop a player from scoring or doing anything in this game offensively is keep the ball away from him.
We're tied at 60. 10 minutes to play, second half. Bullard down low, foul by Corchiani. Armstrong. That's number 3 on Corchiani. And there's a timeout on the floor with 9:49 to play. North Carolina State and Iowa, according to Jim Valvano.
Well, it really is. He feels his team plays well when they shoot the ball over 55%. They've done that, but Iowa's been able to get some easy opportunities also.
Here comes the Wolfpack, Corchiani. And NC State back into the lead by 2. North Carolina State still with the 3 guards in the lineup.
And Iowa still has to the advantage, if you will, Ed Horton on Avi Lester. Avi Lester has 4 fouls, so the thing Iowa should do is get the ball inside because Lester can't afford to foul.
Marble shook off Kelsey Weems and was free down low. He has 15. And we're tied at 62. Monroe inside, draws the foul. Looking Bill is guilty.
Iowa does a good job keeping the ball moving on the perimeter, letting his people on the baseline get open. And you see right here, Wade Looking Bill with a good bounce pass into Roy Marble. Avi Lester having 4 fouls, can't afford to get over and get his 5th.
And a mean pick from Matt Bullard, too. Matt Bullard is wearing maybe the biggest knee brace I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he is wearing a big knee brace, but one of the problems that Iowa had early in the year was that Matt went out with knee surgery, and the Iowa Hawkeyes were expecting to get off to a better start than they did. They ended up 4th in the conference, but they were projected to be in one of the top 2 teams in the conference. They still come out of it pretty well.
Bullard transferred in from Colorado after his sophomore season. Said he wanted to play for a team that won 20 games in a season and to play in the NCAA. Monroe, both free throws, gives North Carolina State a 2-point lead with 8:40 to play here in the second half. Garner all alone. Shot clock down to 12 for Iowa.
Good defense by North Carolina State. They kept Iowa moving the ball on the perimeter, haven't allowed it to get inside to Ed Horton.
Marble, free throw line, jumper, no. Brown lost the handle on the rebound. And Iowa starts all over again with 8 minutes to play in the game. Corchiani close to a steal. Pass underneath. Foul is called. Good look down low by Marble.
Well, that's one of the advantages of having Roy Marble up there. He's a guard. He shoots the shot from the foul line very well. Went up as though he was going to shoot a shot. Everybody from North Carolina State turned their head. He was able to get it to Matt Bullard. Compliments to Matt Bullard. That was a tough pass to handle, and Matt was able to do it well.
Matt Bullard goes to the line looking for his first point of the day. And there's number one. Michigan has now opened up a 7-point lead on South Alabama. Seton Hall 81-73 over Evansville. And Missouri 88-75 over the Longhorns. Here, Bullard goes for the tie. And we're tied at 64. Les Jepson into the lineup from Iowa now. And Bullard takes a seat. Corchiani, Monroe, Howard, Lester, and Chucky Brown. North Carolina State back with its starting five. Monroe open for three. Off target. Horton with the rebound. Here comes Iowa. Horton now with 10 rebounds. Armstrong penetrates. And Lester rebounds. Has a man open, didn't see him, but retains possession.
He didn't see it because Iowa did a good job of getting pressure on him, and all Levi Lester could do was protect the ball. If he tried anything else, the Hawkeyes would have come up with the basketball.
Jim Galvano would perhaps point to one guy who was the big surprise on the squad. It would be Avi.
Yeah, it really was. You know, we were talking with him the other day, and he was saying he was going around and asked people what they thought about the center position, and he told them that Avi Lester was playing, and everybody would say, oh. So Jimmy went back and took that to Avi and told the guy, gave him a challenge, said, Avi, there are two people that think you can play center here. That's you and me. And I think Avi has done a very good job with his skills.
7:02 to play. Looking Bill to the bench with his fourth personal foul. And Monroe with 19 points and 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
Now, you know how this tempo has been controlled? It's been with Jim Valvano. The offensive end of the court is on his end.
Everything's all right. Just play the game.
Those of you who have been watching Michigan versus South Alabama, welcome back to Providence, Rhode Island. North Carolina State with a 1-point lead on Iowa with 7:02 to play here in the second half. Making a 2-point lead now, 66-64. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. It has been a tight game since a 41-41 halftime tie. Roy Marble's shot doesn't go. Big rebound for Howard.
Iowa comes down and they don't make those shots. You can get, I guarantee you from now on that what North Carolina State will do is to make sure they bring it out, try to get a good shot. See, that confidence also has to be soaring, Greg. They've been shooting at about a 63% clip. And when you do that, you got to feel good that when it comes down to having to get a shot up with 5 seconds to go, you got to feel you'll make the shot.
Corchiani with the dish from Monroe, who pulled it back. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Corchiani for three. Five-point Wolfpack lead. Marble down low. Horton powers goes inside. Horton has 25.
Shot clock on a kick. Out of bounds, the clock is reset. Since there's less time on the shot clock than the 24-second clock, the 45-second clock. It is now just a 25-second.
And official Dick Papero wanting both coaches to be very clear. And we'll wait for a timeout to resume.
Concern to Tom Davis is that one player on the court is not a good foul shooter, and that's that young man there, Brian Garner.
And that's who was fouled by NC State. Brian Garner, a 6'1" freshman from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is a 41% free throw shooter on the season. Iowa and North Carolina State have met 4 times previously. Each has won twice. The last time they met.
Brian Garner, you do that typically whether the free throw shooter is good or not, but particularly when a guy has a tough time shooting free throws, you take him over and by icing, you get him on the sideline, make him think about it a little bit, so it's not just a reactionary shot. It's one where you think about it and you become mechanical, and then that's when you're subject to get what they call the yips, and it doesn't get there.
A big moment in this freshman's life.
Great, he shot that, and it didn't look like there was a chance it wasn't going in.
Go straight across. Go straight across.
Iowa by 2. And Corchiani with the basketball. Rodney Monroe, number 21 for NC State, can hit him from 2 or 3.
We'll look for him to get the ball and try to take it, and they'll probably get it back to Chucky Brown's side so they can play a little 2-on-2.
7 seconds. Monroe looking for the shot and got it. 2 seconds. Horton into the court, and we go to overtime.
You want to get 2-on-2 with Rodney Monroe and Chucky Brown. Monroe just takes the ball to the basket. B.J. Armstrong gets fake, tries to jump after it, but Rodney Monroe is a great scorer, still able to get it over Matt Bullard, get it in the basket.
25 points for Rodney Monroe. Here's how the coach saw it.
Oh, I know what he did. Yes.
And at the other end of the court.
And he just tried to get his players to call timeout. There wasn't enough time to do it.
Didn't get the timeout he wanted. The Hawkeyes ready to play a 5-minute overtime. Greg Gumbel, Quinn Buckner from Providence, Rhode Island. And the opening tap goes to the Wolfpack. Chucky Brown fouled by Jepson.
It's not a bad foul by Les Jepson because you don't want to let anybody get uncontested shots, particularly in overtime. But if I'm Tom Davis, I'm concerned because that's a mental lapse on his team in terms of getting back for defensive transition.
And Jepson goes to the bench. Matt Bullard, number 50, in for Iowa.
And you should know that that's not, he didn't go to the bench because he did anything wrong. It is in ordinary fashion what normally happens. Tom Davis lets Les Jepson jump at the jump ball, and then he brings Matt Bullard in. So it wasn't because of a foul that Les Jepson went out of the game.
NC State now 13 of 17 from the free throw line. 13 of 18. 1-point lead for NC State. Marble, Garner, Armstrong, Bullard, and Horton on the floor for Iowa.
Well, here more than anywhere in a contest, you expect your seniors to take over. And that's what I would say would be Iowa's advantage.
Corchiani and Lester in foul trouble. Lookingbill and Horton for Iowa.
And if I'm Iowa, I'm trying to get Corchiani out of the game because he has to guard B.J. Armstrong. And all B.J. has to do is be aggressive because Corchiani can't foul him.
Armstrong got that shot away under pressure from Corchiani and didn't connect. Duke, Minnesota, Georgetown have all advanced to the Meadowlands for East Regional play. A winner here will do the same. 4 minutes remaining in the OT. NC State by 1 over Iowa. And the Wolfpack more than willing to take time off the clock with the ball in the lead. Monroe.
That young man can score on anybody. He was behind the backboard, still able to get it in. Good defense on the part of the Hawkeyes. Just a tremendous shot by Rodney Monroe.
27 for Monroe. 3-point Wolfpack lead, 3:25 to play in the OT.
The player that's going to probably most likely get the shot, if it's not Ed Horton, is Roy Marble.
Horton is on rebound after Lester came up for the block.
And the reason I said that is because they're not guarding Roy at the top of the key. That's a shot he can make, but for some reason he's a little reluctant to take that shot now.
30 points for Ed Horton. Iowa trails by 1. More than 12,000 enjoying the action here this afternoon at the Providence Civic Center. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner as we approach 2.5 to play in the overtime. Corchiani with the shot clock at 10. Monroe stripped of the ball from behind by Armstrong. Iowa comes back 3-on-2. Out of bounds and belongs to Iowa.
Well, Iowa at that time had numbers on break, if you will. They had a 3-on-1, but Chris Corchiani did a good job getting back, breaking it up. That's the kind of thing that B.J. Armstrong is going to have to make.
Corchiani, remember, with 4 personal fouls. Avi Lester, number 32 for NC State, also with 4. Marble, top of the key for 3. No!
Greg, we had talked about about that. That is a design play where Iowa will go up. One of its players goes up as though he's shooting a 3-pointer, and it's really a lob pass to either Jepson or Matt Bullard. That time it was to Matt Bullard.
Iowa by 1, 1:50 to play. Corchiani looks down low and pulls it back out. Shot clock at 15. Corchiani for 3. 12 for Corchiani. Inside, rejected. Marble got the shot off. It was rejected, and Garner has it. Marble down the lane. Fouled, and it will count.
Right here, Roy Marble takes the ball down the basket strong. Chucky Brown tries to come over and get a piece of it. He didn't get there in time. He felt he did. Fisher makes a good call. Again, your seniors are the people that make the play here. But I'll have to say, for the advantage of North Carolina State, they're on the offensive end with Jim Valvano. And it's a big difference, and more importantly in overtime, because you need precise information. And as you see, Chucky Brown now has his 4th foul.
Iowa, 14 of 14 from the free throw line this afternoon. Roy Marble, 17 points. And Bullard with a big rebound.
I will just hold it out. You know, they have it's a tie ball game. Hold it out, run it down to 5 seconds on the shot clock, and then go after it. Again, they'll try to get it down to either Horton or Roy Marble.
55 seconds on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. NC State would have plenty of time to come back and set up after a basket here. Marble. Iowa by 2, 83-81. And now watch the pressure. Shot clock, 35 seconds to play in the OT.
They'll try to get it to Rodney Monroe unless Jimmy decides he wants to take a timeout. But I really think they'll just go with it with Rodney Monroe, bring Chucky Brown to Monroe's side. They got a 2-man game, and then go from there.
We have the same situation we did at the end of regulation. 15 seconds. Down to 10. Armstrong on him, forces, and hits!
Yeah, that's what I like about it. That's what I love about college basketball. Love it.
29 points for
All time, you don't forget tough times like that.
Michigan a winner today. Seton Hall as well over Evansville. And we'll go at least another 5 minutes here. The first double overtime game in 28 NCAA tournament games here in Providence. Howard for Lessler. Pressured big time by Jepson. Horton fouled on the inside. Missouri, a winner in the Midwest. And earlier today here in Providence, Georgetown over Notre Dame. And Chucky Brown has fouled out of this game. With 4:32 to play here in the second OT, the Wolfpack loses its team captain.
Well, it obviously puts Jim Valvano in a very difficult position. He's got to find someone to come in off the bench, can handle the ball, as well as be able to get him some points. I would imagine he may come with Kelsey Wings and try to go with a faster tempo.
We still have UCLA, North Carolina on tap. Carolina minus J.R. Reed and other games. And this will be Brian D'Amico, number 54, 6'11 junior out of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Going with Brian D'Amico because Brian is a big, strong kid. He rebounds well. But the other part of it, see, he's played in big-time games before. He went to South Carolina before he transferred, so he would have a better feel than some of the other players on the sideline as to what it takes to get a game won in this situation.
You know, we may just be getting started. As Ed Horton hits. Because North Carolina State and Wake Forest went 4 overtimes on the 4th of March before the Wolfpack pulled it out 110-103.
They're accustomed to being in long games, but this competition here is pretty tough. You know, you're in an NCAA tournament. This is a lot different. This is one time and you're out.
Iowa by 2. Corchiani, Brian Howard, Rodney Monroe, D'Amico, and Avi Lester.
Corchiani and Monroe are going to do the things they normally have, but I think more than anybody else, Brian Howard may have to find a way for himself to get open in order to do something offensively.
Rodney Monroe for 3. Points for Monroe, and a great shooting performance. Marble into the lane, short. Lester has it and draws the foul.
The credit has to go to this man in your screen, Jim Valvano. 2 days ago, B.J. Armstrong had 35 points. As a rule, B.J. has not been really in the game. I mean, he's wisely passed the ball up, but he's really had to because Valvano's gone to various defense, got B.J. to give the ball up, and B.J. hadn't been able to get into the flow the way that Iowa is normally used to seeing him do.
Armstrong with 18 today. Avi Lester now with 9 points, 9 rebounds, 7 block shots.
One shot, gentlemen, one. Whistle back, me.
The Wolfpack looking for a 3-point lead.
Oh! Even Avi Lester gets a shooting bounce.
3:40 to play. Second overtime. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. We're having fun. Marble looking for the same play again.
He did that time, and North Carolina State was aware of it. Avi Lester got in there with Brian D'Amico, as well as Brian Howard. The foul got called against Brian Howard.
Third personal foul on Howard. Bullard will go to the line. He shoots 78% on his free throw attempts.
1-1.
Serious serious stuff on that Iowa bench.
Yeah, they know that they got themselves in a tough situation, and I'm not sure they expected as tough a fight from North Carolina State. But as I said, North Carolina State has been through adverse times and has shown that they can handle it.
Wolfpack lead is 1 with 3:25 to play. Second overtime. Rodney Monroe, 11 for 19 from the field this afternoon. And he's looking for more.
Oh, my goodness. Greg, when you're feeling good, you're feeling good. This is a great play. He goes to the right, gets a pick by Lester, kind of stands up Matt Bullitt there and goes. Matt Bullitt tries to get there, but by the time he does, Rodney Monroe has the presence of mind and balance to be able to get the shot in, and now he's looking at a three-point play. You see how excited Chucky Brown is.
Chucky Brown says if we survive this, he lives to play another day. We're going to take time here with 3:06 to play in the second overtime. In fact, North Carolina with the early lead on UCLA, minus the services of J.R. Reed, suspended by Coach Dean Smith. Some of you will be joining that game shortly after we finish here. Meanwhile, Rodney Monroe. 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 12 of 20 from the field, 35 points. And North Carolina State leads it by 4. Driving. Offensive foul. No. Traveling.
Right here, one of the things that Brian Gardner should have done, he should have just pulled up. He wasn't able to do that. The officials felt that he traveled with the basketball. He got away with the travel. The official had a choice between that and a foul. Tom Davis made a decision to bring Wade Lookingbill into the game and got Brian Garner out. Now, Wade Lookingbill has really helped him a lot on the defensive end, and what he'll be able to do is come out and find Brian Howard, but he helps out all over the court, and that's one of the things that I think Iowa really missed, because they need somebody to run at Rodney Monroe to get the ball out of his hand.
And now look for the Wolfpack to take as much time off of the shot clock as they can. .225 to play in the overtime. 15 on the shot clock. Tried a little backdoor. D'Amico looked like a pass.
Well, what it was, Brian D'Amico went up as though he was going to pass, made his mind up a little late, and then tried to you know, he just lost his man. Actually, Avi Lester moved, but you'd rather not see the ball in Brian D'Amico's hand. But at this point, I don't think that Chris Corchiani had a choice.
12th turnover of the day for NC State. Both teams have really done a good job taking care of the basketball this afternoon.
They really have, considering how much they've run, and the teams normally turn over a lot. They've done a real good job.
Armstrong. No, whistle blows. And it's going to go against Iowa. No, it's going to go against D'Amico of NC State. D'Amico, the 6'11" junior. And that'll send Wade Lookingbill to the free throw line. Lookingbill, the freshman from Fort Dodge, Iowa, is an 80% free throw shooter. We haven't heard his name much this afternoon. He's playing with 4 personal fouls. But you were saying, Quinn, he has played a heck of a floor game.
I really think he has played a great floor game. When Iowa was coming back, and after they got away from him a little bit in the second half, Lookingbill was the reason. He got over, helped out defensively, got his hands on some ball, and things of that nature. Those don't show up in the statistics, but the coach and the teammate know who helped him out. It was Wade Lookingbill.
91-89, North Carolina State.
Again, you'll see Jimmy Valvano try to open it up, just take his time.
He'd like to see the Wolfpack wind the game clock down to about 1:15. Marble uptight on Monroe.
Now, Roy Marble should just not let Rodney Monroe get the ball at all. Jimmy Valvano decided to take a timeout.
So the clock stops with 1:30 in Denver next weekend. Those games coming up at the conclusion of this one. Shot clock is at 8. Monroe looking for a shot, got it for three. That's a career high for Rodney Monroe, 38 points. Marble into the lane. Bullard will shoot the three. Oh! Corchiani has it.
Well, they'll get a chance, North Carolina State to get a chance to try to use it up, and right there they call Ed Horton for the foul. But the one thing that it's hard for me to understand how Rodney Monroe got the ball. Rodney Monroe has got the game in both overtimes. He still manages to get the ball. Iowa has to do a better job double teaming and getting it out of his hands.
Rodney Monroe has now scored 38 points. Not only is that his career high, but that is the most points scored in an NCAA tournament game here in the Providence Civic Center. Each team, 2 timeouts remaining. Corchiani hits the first. And the Wolfpack lead is 6. 7-point lead for NC State. Iowa trying to avoid being the first Big Ten team to lose. Marble three-pointer hits. And Iowa calls timeout. 46 seconds left in the second overtime. Thank you, Jim. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. 46 seconds remain in the second overtime period. North Carolina State with a 4-point lead and the basketball. And number 3, Mickey Hinnant, now into the lineup for NC State.
Well, NC State will do everything they can to keep the ball in the hands of people like Rodney Monroe, Chris Corchiani. They're good foul shooters. They'll keep it away from Avi Lester.
And Rodney Monroe is about to go to the free throw line. Roy Marble commits the foul. And now Brian D'Amico into the lineup for NC State. For Hinnant.
Good job by Jimmy Valvano bringing D'Amico back in case there's any rebounds to protect on the defensive end so there's no offensive rebounds for Iowa. Iowa's really struggled in getting offensive rebound. They've gotten away from the thing that really got them there, and that was getting the ball into Ed Horton.
14 in overtime.
And you hear Jim Valvano telling his team, make sure that Iowa catches it in front of you.
North Carolina leading, Indiana leading. Those games coming up. Armstrong to the baseline. His jumper is good. And a timeout for Iowa with 28 seconds to play. Very much 28 seconds is all that's left. NC State 98-94 leaders. Quinn, let's remind everyone that the Hawkeyes are playing without the freshman Ray Thompson, declared ineligible not by NCAA standards last week and not by Big Ten standards, but because the school was not satisfied with his academic progress.
Yeah, he did make the progress necessary toward graduation, and the basketball program and Tom Davis decided not to play.
Foul on Garner will send Mickey Hinnant to the line, and this is precisely the reason Jim Valvano has Mickey Hinnant in the lineup at this point.
He wants to get his best foul shooters in there. They got Brian Garner the foul right away, and you see he's getting some lessons, just letting him know, you know, take this experience, make it a positive one, even though at this point it doesn't look very good for Iowa, but you still have to learn from these situations.
Hinnant, a junior college transfer from Lewisburg College in North Carolina, shoots 74% from the free throw line. Hinnant with 2 points. Make it 3.
He's pretty excited about making that foul shot, but Hinnant was one of the players went from Cary, North Carolina. That's the player where Phil Spence was from, the guy that was on 1975 championship team for North Carolina, 74 championship team.
Hinnant gets 2. 6-point lead. Howard with the steal. Corchiani is fouled by Armstrong. Great defensive play by Brian Howard.
He covered a lot of territory to get over there in his anxiety to try to throw the ball further down the court. Matt Bullard tried to make a pass to one of his teammates and didn't see Brian Howard coming intercepted.
And one of the first things he got was high-fived by Jim Valvano. Corchiani, 81% free throw shooter. Missed that first one. And the Wolfpack takes it away.
This is where Tom Davis sits on the side. You wonder if your snake didn't. You get the young man you want to miss the foul shot. He misses it, and you can't come up with a long rebound.
Well, Jim Valvano wants a timeout here. 17 seconds to play. 6-point Wolfpack lead. Will be. Greg Gumbel, Quinn Buckner back at the Providence Civic Center. Rodney Monroe hit a jumper to tie it at the end of regulation. Hit another jumper to tie it at the end of the first overtime. He has scored 15 of his 40 points in the overtime sessions today. And Chris Corchiani just trying to add to the North Carolina State lead. It is 101 to 94. 15 points, 10 assists.
At Osco, we know how much you care about your pictures.
Count on people